Let's start with the chapter Fiscal Policy and Deficit Financing. Fiscal policy is that under which the government uses the various instruments of taxation, public expenditure, and public debt to achieve the objectives of economic policy. And the different objectives of fiscal policy are: first is economic stability, to achieve full employment, economic growth, price stability, and reducing inequalities in income and wealth. Let's look into the different points, different objectives of fiscal policy in detail. One of the main objective of fiscal policy is economic stability. Economic stability is that situation there are no fluctuations in the level of output and employment. The fluctuations in the level of employment and output can occur if the situations of depression or inflation are there. What happens in the situation of depression? The level of output and employment goes down. And as the level of output and employment goes down, the aggregate demand and supply decreases in the economy. As a result, with the help of fiscal policy and especially by adopting public expenditure and the taxation, the government can work and improve. The government can improve the situation of depression by giving more subsidies to the entrepreneurs, by giving more facilities to the consumers to purchase a product so that the aggregate demand and supply can increase in the economy. Whereas on the other side, during the time of inflation, the government can just do the opposite of it. During the time of inflation, with the help of fiscal policy, the government can impose new taxes on the entrepreneurs. The government can increase the interest rates on the loans to discourage the people to have more money. It can also increase the taxes so that it can force the people to save money. And saving of money as well as the more taxes will definitely reduce the circulation of money in the economy. Next is to achieve full employment. Full employment is basically a situation in which all those people, those who are willing, those who are qualified, are agreed to work on the prevailing wage rates in the economy and they get the jobs. But to achieve the situation of full employment, it's not easy. It can never be achieved. We cannot say that full employment means the 100% employment in the economy. It is not possible. Not exactly the 100%, but still the 95% of employment can be achieved in the economy. And that is the main aim. Full employment can be achieved in the economy by the government by using the various tools of the fiscal policy like public expenditure. With the help of public expenditure, the government can spend money on the establishment of industries, on increasing the manufacturing units in the economy. As a result, more jobs and higher standard of living for the people. The government can also spend money on the various training institutes for the workers, so to increase their efficiency as well as to increase their capacity to work. Next, we have the economic growth. Economic growth is one of the most important objective of the economic policy because economic growth helps in increasing the standard of living of the people in the economy. Basically, economic growth is a process. It's a process in which the per capita income increases in the economy as well as the standard of living also improves. But again, the question comes that how the economic standard and the per capita income can be increased. It can be done only with the help of public expenditure. That is, by spending more money on the manufacturing sector and as well as on the agricultural sector of the economy, so that the more job opportunities can be created for the people and source of income can also be generated for the people, so that ultimately the standard of living will improve. Next is the price stability. Price stability, it's a situation in which there are less fluctuations in the prices. In other words, we can say that price stability is not a situation where the prices always remain stable because it is not required. If the prices will remain stable, it means that the economy is not growing. So we need some fluctuations in the prices of the economy, but it should not be beyond the control of the economy. Prices should be kept under control within the limits which are required for the growth of the economy. For example, during the time of inflation, as the prices rises due to increase in the circulation of income, so the government needs to keep a check on that, and the check can be kept by the government only by imposing the new taxes, imposing new taxes on the people, by forcing them to save more. This can be done, and with the help of that, the inflation as well as the circulation inflation, which results because of the increase in circulation of money in the economy, can be under control. Next thing which we have is your reducing inequalities in income and wealth. In the developing countries of the world, the inequalities in income and wealth can also be checked and controlled effectively by the fiscal policy of a country. With the help of fiscal policy, the government can keep a check on the consumer's expenditure. It can also keep a check on the savings by the various manufacturing units of the country. With the help of fiscal policy, the government can also borrow extra money from the people, those who are having the excess amount of funds with them. It means the reducing inequalities in income and wealth can be checked by the government by adopting all the three instruments of the fiscal policy, that is expenditure, taxation and borrowing. Now we'll look into that how the fiscal policy can be used to control inflation. First of all, there are the three different instruments of the fiscal policy which can be helpful in keeping a check on inflation or deflation. First, we have public expenditure. Public expenditure, if it is the time of inflation. During the time of inflation, the government needs to keep a check or to reduce public expenditure to some extent. If the public expenditure will be reduced, lesser will be the demand from the side of the people. Lesser will be the income in the hands of the people. A government need not to reduce completely the public expenditure, but it needs to keep a check on the unproductive expenditure made by the government. Next is the taxation. During the time of inflation, the government needs to impose new taxes and variety of taxes to cover the number of people in the economy, so that they are compelled to save more. And whenever the people will save more, they're left with the less amount of money in their hands. As a result, the aggregate demand will decrease in the economy. And as the aggregate demand will decrease, automatically it will lead to decrease in the aggregate supply. As a result, the inflation can be checked easily by the government. Next is the public debt. If it is a time of inflation, the government needs to borrow more, to raise more loans from within the country. And whenever the government will raise more loans from within the country, it will force the people to save more money with them, so that more loans can be given to the government, that to high rate of interest. And so on the other side, if we have a situation like deflation in the economy, then the public expenditure needs to be increased, taxation must be reduced, and the public debt must be reduced. These two things, that is taxation and public debt, must be reduced, whereas the public expenditure must be increased in the economy. Let's look into that how the fiscal policy can be helpful in maintaining the economic stability in the country, whether the situation is related to depression or inflation. If the situation is of depression, then the government needs to present a deficit budget, which means that the expenditure of the government is more than the revenue. Then whatever the gap is there between the revenue and the expenditure of the government can be easily covered by the deficit financing. And deficit financing, with the help of deficit financing, the government will be in a position to cope up with the excess expenditure which is required in the economy. On the other side, if it is a situation of inflation, the government needs to impose more taxes on the people to cover up the expenditure, to cover up the gap between the expenditure and the revenue. Second thing, if it is a situation of depression, then the government need not to impose more taxes on the people. On the other side, it is required to give some relaxation to the people on the issue of taxes. New rate of taxes should not be increased by the government during the time of depression. Whereas in the case, if it is a situation of inflation, more taxes must be imposed by the government. Next is the public expenditure. If it is a situation of depression, then the government needs to increase its public expenditure. The government needs to spend more money on the various schemes and the projects. Whereas, if it is a situation of inflation, the government needs to cut down its expenditure on for the unproductive purposes. Last thing, if there is a situation of depression, then the government needs to reduce the borrowing. Government needs to increase the repayment of the loans to increase the disposable income in the hands at the people's end. Whereas, if it is a situation of inflation, the government needs to increase public borrowing so that the people are forced to save more. And saving more, it means the less income in the hands of the people. Let's see how fiscal policy can be useful in increasing economic growth in the economy. First of all, the government can use these two tools to increase economic growth in the economy, like taxation and borrowings. Second, the government can give tax reliefs and subsidies to increase the investment, because tax relief and subsidies are always an incentive for the investors to invest in the various new projects. With the help of taxation and borrowings, the government can give tax holidays and incentives to develop the backward regions. It can give more and more incentives to the entrepreneurs, those who are interested in establishing their plants and establishment of their manufacturing units in the areas which are backward. And government can also borrow money, more loans from the public for the development of backward regions. And the backward regions can be developed by the government by providing the basic amenities in the backward regions, because that will definitely work as a boost for the investors in the backward regions.